The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says Israel will no longer allow their food convoys from entering northern Gaza, where people are dying of hunger. Director General Philippe Lazzarini released a statement on the social media platform X, stating that the Israeli authorities have informed the UN that they will no longer approve any UNRWA food convoys to the north of Gaza. UNRWA has called the decision outrageous and says Israel is making it intentional to obstruct life-saving assistance during a man-made famine. Meanwhile, in a statement, the Director General of the World Health Organization says blocking UNRWA from delivering food is in fact denying starving people the ability to survive. This decision must be urgently reversed. All efforts to deliver food should not only be permitted, but there should be an immediate acceleration of food deliveries. Let's speak now to Sam Rose, who's the Director of Planning at UNRWA, joins us live from Amman. So this order by Israel to not allow any UNRWA convoys through to give aid to potentially starving people, what are the implications of this?
The implications are dramatic, coming after 5.5 months of a relentless war. An independent authority warned last week of imminent famine. People are already dying of starvation up in the north, and this is essentially a death sentence on many of those people. I'm here in Rafah, not in Amman, and the situation, the bombings are relentless everywhere, but the conditions particularly harsh in the northern Gaza Strip, where we estimate there are about 250,000 people who've been trapped there for about 5.5 months. UNRWA is by far the largest aid organization inside Gaza, so blocking UNRWA from delivering up there, as I say, just worsens the conditions and is a deliberate obstruction, as my boss said, the Commissioner General of UNRWA, a deliberate obstruction of life-saving assistance for a population that is already facing famine and starvation. So simply, more people will die.
Of course, you have had incredibly limited access anyway, so I guess this is Israel doubling down on a policy already in place, right?
A policy already in place to restrict access to humanitarian access to the north, but we have now been informed explicitly that UNRWA missions to the north, we had 3 planned this week. I myself was due to be on one this morning. We've been told explicitly now that those missions will not be coordinated. So that means less aid trucks, fewer aid trucks to the starving people of northern Gaza. The gravity of the situation is such that the entire aid community has to work together to get as much aid into northern Gaza as possible. And taking UNRWA away from that, you're taking the largest actor away from that equation. So you starve UNRWA, you starve Gaza.
So we have a situation where we have huge, vast quantities of aid just sitting there, and it's really a matter of mere kilometres away from thousands of starving people.
Absolutely. There are problems on the border with Egypt. There are hundreds of trucks that are stuck there, but literally those trucks are kilometres away. On the other side of the border, the eastern side of the border, we have supermarkets, we have hydroponic farms, we have all the food, all the nutrients, all the minerals, all the vitamins that we need to put a stop to this.
When you say people are essentially dying, how close do you understand people there are to reaching starvation, to actually dying now?
People are already dying of starvation. I can't remember the exact figures, but the numbers in the 10s, in the 20s. This situation is already extremely serious. It's very, very catastrophic. Reducing the amount of aid that is getting into the north will just make the situation far, far worse.
What has to happen here now, do you think?
What has to happen is that there has to be pressure put on Israel to reverse this decision. There has to be an immediate and a sustained increase in access to northern Gaza to allow the humanitarian community, including UNRWA. This isn't about UNRWA, but UNRWA simply is by far the largest humanitarian organization inside Gaza. The entire aid community working together to get as much aid into northern Gaza as quickly as possible. If we do this, we can stop this. But if we don't do it, we've been warning for months what would happen. We're now starting to see it happen.
Has Israel given any reason for its decision? And tell us a little bit about what the process of approval is.
We are not aware of any reason for that decision. We were informed 3 nights on the run that our mission to the north would not be approved for operational considerations. We don't get much more than that. But essentially, every mission that the humanitarian community inside Gaza plans for the north has to be communicated, has to be coordinated, has to be approved by the Israeli authorities to a minute level of detail. That happens typically about 24 hours before the missions are due to happen, and we get informed a couple of hours before whether or not it's going to go ahead. So the trucks were ready, the materials were ready, I myself was ready, our drivers were ready, and we were stood down.
Are you getting any indication that any pressure from the United States is being put on Israel to try and enforce them to allow for more aid in?
We are calling on all member states that have influence on Israel to put that pressure on. They are the entities that can influence this. The United Nations Secretary General was in Rafah yesterday. He passed the same message on. As of now, we're not seeing it having any effect, but it's absolutely urgent and critical. It couldn't be more critical that this decision be reversed.
Indeed. All right, Sam Rose, we're going to leave it there. Sam Rose, the Director of Planning at UNRWA, joining us from Rafah. Thank you.